Hello there and welcome to All Things Photography. My name's Nick Stubbs. Today I'd like to show you a funky little gadget that I've just received through the post that I'm going to review, and it's called the Nero trigger. You can see it's just a small black box with a few buttons and gadgets on it, and it does some absolutely amazing things. And when you see what it does, I hope that you'll understand that there's a lot of creative photography you can actually make using one of these little gadgets. Now, what it'll do is actually fire either your camera, your DSLR, or your speed light automatically via various means, and those include either via sound, via lightning strike, or via a laser being broken. So let's run through those. First of all, you can set this up on your camera with either the cable going into your camera, which comes supplied with the Nero trigger, or you can use it with a cable attached to your flash gun, which you have to buy, and I've just bought one from Amazon for about £7. And once it's set up and fixed into, say, your camera, you set the trigger to fire via sound, and you can adjust the sensitivity of the sound. So as soon as something happens, such as a door closing or I don't know, a gunshot or something, the minute that sound hits the Nero trigger, it will activate your camera within a millisecond, and it will fire it off and hopefully capture whatever it is you're looking to shoot. The other one is a lightning strike, so you can set this so the sensitivity is actually sensitive to a flash of light. It can be fired via your flash gun, but it's really used for capturing lightning shots. So let's say you've set this up and you've set the sensitivity to a point where it's going to be activated by lightning and not just street lights or ambient light, that sort of thing. Set it up, set your camera up, and maybe a 1 or 2, 3 second exposure, and the minute a lightning strike happens, this will fire off your camera within a millisecond and you'll capture some fantastic lightning shots. And we'll look at this a bit later and I'll show you how it kind of works, but there's also photos on the Nero site of shots they've done using the lightning trigger. The last one, which I think is pretty cool, is activated by a laser. Now, you have on the front here a sensor, and all you need to do is set your camera up with the Nero trigger and then set up a laser separately firing onto the light here, and the minute anything breaks that, or the millisecond anything breaks that beam, it's going to take a photograph. Now, obviously lasers you need to buy yourself, it doesn't come with this, but I've again just bought one from Amazon for £9.99. In fact, I bought two. One was a green laser, which is amazingly powerful, and you can see you can fire it into the clouds and everything, and you can see a beam of light. That one didn't kind of work. What you really need is the standard red dot laser. That will fire a red dot onto there, and it's a beam you can't see, which is obviously great for capturing animals and things like that. And the minute that is broken, it will actually set off your camera. Now, if you imagine shooting nature photography, if you have a window where a barn owl flies through at night, obviously you can capture that. You have the laser beam going across, and the minute the owl breaks the beam, you'll be taking photos. And obviously with this, you can set up, if you have pocket wizards and speed lights, set those up over the area and you can take your shots. Now, with that, and with the trigger, you can actually set it to take one photograph or a series of up to 10 photographs. So if your camera's fast enough and your speed lights are fast enough with enough power, you can get 10 flash shots as soon as the trigger's broken of an owl flying through the air, or of a badger coming out of its set, or anything like that. So it's great for nature photography. Or even if you want to capture something, say you want to set up an automatic camera so that when a bride and groom walk down the aisle, and you're down the front with one camera and you have the Nero trigger at the back, and as soon as the bride and her father may be walking down the aisle, cut the beam, it will take a photograph of them while you're photographing down the front. To be honest, the ideas and the possibilities are absolutely endless, just limited by your imagination. You can have some great fun with this thing. We're going to go through each one now and just see if we can get each one to work, see how it works and see what sort of photos we can capture, have a little bit of a play, and then we'll take it from there. So let's see what this little baby can do. Okay, as you can see here, I've quite an elaborate setup, all for the purposes of testing this Nero trigger. Now, what I'm actually doing here is I've got an egg on a plate, and the Nero is set up to fire via sound. So the minute that the egg hits the plate, it's going to set the camera off and it's going to take a shot. And I've also set up 2 pocket wizards with flash guns directly on the egg, so that hopefully we're going to get a good shot of the egg breaking and cracking open. All a bit kind of much just for a shot for this, but yeah, the camera's basically set up 200th of a second, ISO 100, aperture of f16 to try and get a lot of depth of field. The triggers are basically on ETTL, so they're all fully automatic. Like I said, the camera's already set up, ready to go. The Nero trigger's set up, ready to go, but the camera's not on yet because obviously my voice is going to activate the camera and take the shot. So I don't want to do that. I want to wait until the egg literally just drops on the plate and hopefully it'll take a shot. But I'll show you a test shot in a minute. I'm going to turn the camera on and then I've got to be quiet as not to set this off. So if we just set the camera on. I'll do a test shot. Now, turn the camera off. You probably saw that, but the didn't quite work as I planned. The egg hit the plate and then the flash went off, then the camera went off, so there was a slight delay. So when you're using the sound feature of the Nero trigger, obviously you've got to have something that's going to take a little bit longer to kind of break or that kind of thing. So, you know, something like a breaking egg for this sort of shot, I would probably use the laser, so that as soon as it hit the laser, it would trigger. If I had the laser going about an inch above the plate, as soon as the egg broke the laser, it would take the shot, and by the time it's taken the shot, the egg would have split. So we'll have a look at that photo, but we've also got it in super slow motion, so we'll be able to have a look at that. But the next one we're going to try is the lightning, but obviously I'm just going to use my flash to show you how that works. Okay, sorry for the spooky look. I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but in this situation, I've now got the Nero trigger set to go off via flashlight. And for that to work, you need to be in a fairly dark environment, because obviously, even at the lowest sensitivity, a light like the one that's on the camera now will set the camera off. So if I point the Nero trigger and the camera to that light, it should start setting it off. There you go. So it's going to start taking shots just by using ambient light. So obviously, there it goes again, it's pointing towards the window. So what we need to do is obviously just use the flash to fire it. So the flash is going to represent lightning. So you can see the cameras here, and I'll put it close to my chest so you can hear it going off. If I fire the flash, see it goes off, gone off again. And then you've got to make sure that the lightning is going to hit the sensor. So every time I hit the flash over the sensor, you can see it goes off. So we know that the flash works pretty well, but obviously with the camera as it is, a flash is extremely quick. It's a lot quicker than normal lightning. Lightning takes a while to actually go through its whole process, so we can't really use flash photography with this. It just doesn't work. But there are things you can do with that, but obviously it's best for lightning. So have it set up in one of the settings here, and you basically adjust the sensitivity until it stops taking photos using the ambient light. And then the minute some lightning strikes, it's going to take that. It's going to take the shot. So, the thing with the Nero, it needs a bit of practice, as you've seen from my rubbish egg shot. It takes a bit of practice to set things up, but bear in mind it does actually work. Everything that I've tried so far works. The last thing I'm going to try quickly is just to use a laser. I bought a laser from Amazon, and I'm just going to quickly set up a laser shot and try and get a breaking egg shot again by using the laser. So I'll set this up and then we'll see if we can get that one to work this time. Okay, we've got the last test set up here now. You can probably see here I've got the laser pen firing across this plate into the Nero trigger. Now you probably can't see the light, but when you know that the light is actually activated, the Nero trigger, the light on top will flash, so I know it's activated. So if you watch, as I drop this light bulb through the laser, it fires the shot. Okay, so I'm now going to drop and smash this light bulb, and hopefully it's going to record the breaking light bulb. Both flash guns set up, set to quite high speed, lasers in place, everything's set up. So I'm going to stand up now and drop this and smash it, and hopefully not make too much mess, but hopefully we'll get a good shot. The things I do for all things photography. So let's see if that works. It didn't break. Amazing, it bounced. So I'm going to try it from a little bit higher. Let's see what happens there. That's got to be one of the strongest light bulbs I've ever used. Now, I'm not going to tempt fate, I'm going to leave it at that, but I'm sure you saw that took shots each time, I've actually filmed it in slow motion so we can see it actually landing, but you saw the camera, the shots went off. So we will have a look at the photos just to see how they came out, but at least I've saved myself a light bulb. And you also know that, there we go again, I just broke the laser. You know that all the Nero trigger features work. We've tried it with using flash, we've tried it using sound, and now we've tried it using a laser pen, which I'm now going to turn off. You can see the laser pen, it's very, very cool. So we know that all three work, and we also know, or I know, that the Nero trigger will also fire off the speed lights, because I've tried that myself as well. So I hope you enjoyed that review, even though it didn't quite go to plan, but I hope you can see that there's so many opportunities, so many things that you can do to kind of juice up and pump up your photography and get some really creative juices flowing. Get hold of a Nero trigger. I think they're great fun, great value for money. Everything works on it, and I think you can have a lot of fun. I'd love to see some of the photos and see if you can do better than me. It shouldn't be too difficult, but anyway, that's the Nero trigger. This is All Things Photography, and that's us signing off.